Rose Byrne making her comedic name with Kristen Wiig in the hit movie Bridesmaids. Before that, Byrne's breakout TV role in the series Damages earned her an Emmy and Golden Globe nominations. Then she went on to star in blockbusters like Get Him to the Greek, The Internship, and Spy alongside Melissa McCarthy. Now, she's reprising her role as Kelly Radner in the movie Neighbors sequel with Seth Rogan. Neighbors 2, it's called, Sorority Rising. The sale of the expectant couple's home is in jeopardy after a very rowdy sorority moves in next door.
I cannot shut down a sorority that's trying to become independent.
Why not?
Okay, it's a PR nightmare.
What's the nightmare?
For example, sexist female dean shuts down sorority.
That is reverse sexism, which is in and of itself a sexist thing to do.
There's no such thing as reverse sexism, Mr. White Man.
Look, if they get 3 strikes, they have to shut down, right?
As far as I'm concerned, they have infinite strikes.
I see we're playing outside the rules of the system, so why don't we go to Plan B?
Here's a little something to change your mind.
Rose Byrne, welcome back to the table.
Thank
That's a
you.
great scene with Lisa Kudrow.
Oh, thank you.
So now let's talk about Neighbors 1 for a second, because it earned, I couldn't believe this, $270 million.
Yeah, I know. It was a big hit. We were all very delighted, obviously. And yeah, I think the characters, people really kind of took a shining to them. So we thought, let's try and do it again.
Well, I think people just like silly stuff. Would you
Yes.
agree? Because Neighbors 2 opens without being indelicate. You and Seth are boinking, and it opens with you vomiting all over him. And I said, that's an interesting way to start the movie.
Right. I know. We packed a punch with the first scene. We were
Yes.
like, let's get them in. Let's not. Let's set the tone early with what we're going to be doing here. And it was a shout out back to the first one. But so those scenes are actually easier when it's a comedy, because it's so silly and stupid and funny, and so it's less actually like a really intimate experience.
So,
But tell us about the premise.
So we have a daughter who's now 3, and I'm pregnant with our second child, and a sorority moves in next door, and so we get very confronted. We're also trying to sell our house, and we get very confronted with the fact that these girls are very rowdy and actually worse than the fraternity, and we have this young daughter and another one on the way, and we're like, is our little girl going to turn out like these young women?
And they're selling weed.
And yes, they're doing everything under
Yeah.
the sun, so it's kind of a confronting experience for them. And are they good parents? Are they bad parents? And,
Yeah.
And continuing on the indelicate theme, I guess there was a scene that includes a greasy meat and your shirtless co-star Zac Efron.
Oh yes.
Why was that hard to get through?
Guys, this there's a whole sequence in the film where we're trying to distract the sorority, and so we had to, well, there was this piece of meat that was really seasoned in like thyme and rosemary, and then they injected it with baby oil. So it was really disgusting. It took me a few hours to try and get it off my hands. Poor Zach.
Who do you think the audience is for this film?
I think
That's a good
I think it's
question,
Charlie.
Laura.
Clearly, he looks delighted.
You know Charlie Rose.
I'm going to see you to the weekend, right? You'll be there.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, you'll be there. I can tell. No, it's really for the young, the young kids, and but it's very, it's funny. We haven't done our job if you're not leaving the cinema laughing. So yeah.
But you don't allow yourself to be a nagging wife.
No, well, unfortunately, sometimes in these comedies, traditionally the wife is the buzzkill and kind of like, don't go out and whatever. And so I was just not interested in doing that. And so, we sat down with the director early on for the first film and let's make her as irresponsible as him. Let's make her as stupid as him. Let's reverse this sort of stereotype that's been a little bit ingrained. So,
Let's talk about you. You've started a production company to make sure that there are more female-oriented films. Is it hard to make those films? Is it hard to get them sold, to produce them?
Yeah, often I just read scripts and I always want to play the guy role. I'm like, that's the role I'd rather
That you
play.
wanna do.
And you're always waiting for the guy to be cast. And so I was like, let's try and make, matters into my own hands and try and get material that I can develop with much more female-driven projects.
And what about the debate about equal pay for women? I understand that Robin Wright, who of course has starred in House of Cards, which is a television series, last night was at an event in which she said that she had recently demanded to be paid the same as Kevin Spacey. Is that something that you've worked on in your career? Do you go behind the scenes and say, I want to be paid the same as my male co-star?
As much as I can, yeah. I mean, it's great that it's actually coming to light and people are talking about it, because I think these things just are buried for so long, and there's a quiet sort of tolerance for this behaviour and treatment of women, and it's just, it shouldn't be the case, obviously. So.
Well, your significant other was here recently, Bobby Cannavale, who was beaming about the birth of Rocco, your son, who's now your favorite son. And so how do you like this thing called parenting, Rose Byrne? It's very cool, isn't it?
It's fun. I really relate to the movie now, because it takes like an hour and 45 minutes to leave the house, and that's what happens in the film, in the first one. But no, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm a little tired, but it's a lot of fun.
Well, you look great this morning.
Congratulations.
You're sweet.
Congratulations.
Neighbors too.
It gets easier, yes.
Thanks.
It
Yes.
will only take an hour to leave.
That's right, Nora.
Rose Byrne, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
And Neighbors 2, Sorority Rising opens Friday.